For years, we've seen these incredible videos of robots doing backflips and sorting packages, and we've all had the same thought, that's cool, but when are they actually going to do something useful in the real world? Well, the answer to that question might have just arrived, and it comes in a package smaller than a shoebox. On the 25th of August, Nvidia dropped a bombshell on the world of AI and robotics. They announced the full rollout of their Jetson AGX Thor platform. Now, I know what you're thinking. Great, another chip, more acronyms, more jargon. Hold on, this is not just another piece of silicon. This is what I'm calling the Big Bang moment for embodied AI. This is the heart that will power the robot revolution. Nvidia just handed the keys to the kingdom to every robotics company on the planet, and in doing so, they've laid the groundwork for their next multi-trillion-dollar empire. Today, we're going deep. We're going to break down what this Thor platform actually is, why it represents a quantum leap in performance, how Nvidia is building an unbreachable fortress around this new market, and most importantly, what it all means for you as an investor. Because this isn't just a tech story, it's one of the biggest investment stories of the next decade. So what exactly is this Jetson Thor? Let's get the nerdy stuff out of the way first. For $3,499, developers can get their hands on a dev kit, but the real meat is in the production modules, specifically the flagship T5000. And folks, calling this thing a chip is like calling a Bugatti a car. It's a compact supercomputer. At its core is the crown jewel of Nvidia's technology, the Blackwell GPU architecture. This is the same stuff powering the world's most advanced data centers, the brains behind ChatGPT and every other major AI model. Nvidia has taken that server-grade, world-conquering power and crammed it into a tiny, power-efficient module for the edge. Think about that. It's a strategy they've perfected over the years. Dominate the data center, then adapt that same architecture for a whole new market. It's like taking a Formula One engine and figuring out how to make it the undisputed king of the go-kart circuit. Under the hood of the T5000, you've got a 14-core ARM CPU for general tasks, but the star of the show is the Blackwell GPU with two 560 CUDA cores and 96 of their latest gen tensor cores. It's paired with up to 128 gigs of super fast memory. But here's the real genius move. With this chip, Nvidia IDIA made a massive strategic pivot. Their last gen chip, Orin, relied heavily on things called deep learning accelerators, or DLAs. These are specialized bits of hardware, super efficient at one or two specific tasks, but not very flexible. The problem is, the AI world has been completely taken over by massive flexible models like the transformers that power LLMs. These models don't like being stuck in a box. They need raw, programmable power. So Nvidia IDIA basically said, forget the specialized training wheels, we're giving these robots pure, unadulterated GPU power. This is a masterstroke. Why? Because it unifies the world of robotics with the world of data center AI. The millions of developers who already live and breathe NVIDIA's CUDA programming language can now seamlessly take their skills and even their AI models and apply them to the physical world. NVIDIA isn't just selling a product. They're extending their entire all-powerful data center ecosystem into every factory, warehouse, and hospital. They're lowering the barrier to entry for an entire industry, ensuring everyone builds on their platform. Now, let's talk numbers, because the leap from the previous generation Orin to Thor is just staggering. We're talking about a 7.5 times increase in AI computing performance. Let me repeat that. 7.5 times. CPU performance is up over 3x, and memory has doubled. The key metric here is its 2070 FP4 T-flops. Without getting too technical, FP4 is a low-precision format that is absolutely critical for running the new wave of giant generative AI models efficiently on a small device. It shrinks the model's footprint and speeds up its thinking process. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a whole new species of computation for the edge. Okay, so it's powerful, but what does that power actually unlock? It unlocks something called real-time inference. For a robot that has to operate in our messy, unpredictable world, the ability to process data from its cameras and sensors and make a decision in milliseconds is not a luxury. It's the fundamental requirement for being safe and useful. A modern robot isn't just running one AI model, it's running a whole orchestra of them all at once. It needs a perception model to see, a language model to understand your commands, a reasoning model to plan its actions, and a motor control model to actually move. This is the paradigm shift that Thor enables. We're moving from robots as passively programmed tools that repeat one task over and over on an assembly line to actively deciding agents. An agent is a system that can perceive its environment, reason about a goal, and act autonomously to achieve it. It's a constant, real-time, perceive, think, act loop. Imagine you say to a robot, "Hey, can you put that box on the top shelf?" Before Thor, the robot would have to send video to the cloud, wait for a giant server to figure out what a box and a shelf are, devise a plan, and send the instructions back. The lag would make it comically slow and utterly impractical. With Thor, that entire thinking process happens locally, on the robot itself. It sees the box, understands your language, plans the sequence of movements, and executes. It turns the robot into a true intelligent agent. This is what Jetson Thor means when he talks about physical AI. The AI revolution is finally breaking out of the digital cage and stepping into our world. And Nvidia isn't just providing the brain, they're providing the mind to go with it. They've announced Project GR0 which stands for Generalist Robot 00 Technology. This is a foundational model, a general-purpose AI designed specifically to be the operating system for humanoid robots. Think of GR0 as the App Store moment for robotics. Before the iPhone App Store, your phone could only do what the manufacturer decided it could do. The App Store created a platform that unleashed the creativity of millions of developers and the true potential of the hardware. GR0 is that platform. Robotics companies no longer need to spend years and billions of dollars trying to build a complex AI brain from scratch. They can take Nvidia's pre-trained GR0 model and fine-tune it for their specific robot and their specific task, whether it's for warehouse logistics, elder care, or assisting in surgery. Nvidia is providing the brain and the foundational intelligence placing itself at the absolute center of this emerging application economy. And who's lining up to buy in? Pretty much everyone who matters. We're talking about humanoid pioneers like Figure, Agility Robotics, 1X, and even the legendary Boston Dynamics. Industrial giants like Amazon Robotics and John Deere. Tech leaders like Meta. They're all adopting Thor for the exact same reason. It provides the server-grade performance they need to run their most advanced AI models right there on the robot in the real world. So, how big is this opportunity? The numbers are almost hard to believe. The overall embodied AI market is projected to grow from around $4.44 billion in 2025 to over $23.06 billion by 2030. That's a compound annual growth rate of nearly 40%. The humanoid robot slice of that pie is expected to hit $15 billion by 2030, growing at the same blistering pace. Jetson Thor has been crystal clear. Outside of their core data center business, robotics is Nvidia's single biggest growth opportunity. And this sets up a fascinating clash of titans, a battle of philosophies that will define the next era of technology. In one corner, you have Nvidia's arms dealer model. They don't make the robots. They want to sell the picks and shovels, the essential hardware and software Isaac to every single company in the robot gold rush. Their success is tied to the success of the entire industry. And in the other corner, you have Tesla's vertical integration model with its Optimus robot. They are doing the exact opposite. They're building everything themselves. The robot, the custom AI chips, the AI models trained on their vast trove of self-driving data. And they have a built-in first use case, their own factories. Let's break down the matchup. NVIDIA's advantage, they have a massive, immediate market. Their ecosystem of over 2 million developers creates an insane network effect, a deep competitive moat that's almost impossible for a competitor to cross. They're not betting on a single robot designed to win, they're betting on the entire category. Tesla's advantage? If they succeed, they capture 100% of the value. Their hardware and software are designed in perfect harmony. And they can bootstrap the whole process by using the robots themselves to build more cars and more robots. This is more than just a corporate rivalry, it's a fundamental conflict over what the future looks like. Will the robot industry look like the PC market, a horizontal ecosystem dominated by a few platform players like Microsoft and Intel, with thousands of hardware makers? Or will it look like Apple's iOS ecosystem, a vertically integrated walled garden where one company controls everything and captures immense value by delivering a seamless user experience? The outcome of this battle will shape the entire industry for decades. Of course, as investors, we have to look at the cold, hard reality beyond the hype. What are the risks for Nvidia? First, competition. Tesla is a formidable foe, but AMD is also making moves in robotics. And you can never count out the big tech giants like Google and Amazon, who love to develop their own custom chips in the long run to reduce their reliance on suppliers like Nvidia. Second, geopolitics. The ongoing tech tensions, particularly with China, represent a significant headwind. US export restrictions could cut Nvidia off from a massive market, and Beijing is pushing hard for homegrown alternatives. And finally, the elephant in the room, valuation. Nvidia's stock is priced for utter perfection. It's already baking in massive future growth. Robotics is a long-term game. It takes years to go from a developer kit to millions of robots deployed in the field. If that revenue ramp-up is slower than Wall Street's incredibly optimistic timeline, the stock could face a brutal correction. There's a very real risk of the hype cycle outrunning reality. So this brings us to the trillion-dollar question. How do you play this? Let's look at the bull and bear cases. The bull case is simple. Jetson Thor and the physical AI revolution have just unlocked a colossal new market that isn't even fully priced into the stock yet, despite its high valuation. Nvidia's hardware and software moat is virtually unbreachable, positioning them to capture a dominant share of the value in this new economy. And let's be honest, their track record of executing on the next big wave of computing is flawless. The bear case is just as compelling. The stock's valuation leaves zero room for error. Any slight miss on earnings or guidance could trigger a massive sell-off. The robotics payoff is a marathon, not a sprint, and revenue growth could be lumpy and slower than expected, and the competitive and geopolitical threats are very, very real. So, here's how I'm thinking about it, broken down for two types of investors. For the long-term investor, the investment thesis for Nvidia is no longer just about data center AI, it is now a full-throated bet on the future of robotics and embodied intelligence. You need to ignore the noise of quarterly earnings reports. The key metrics to watch over the next 12 to 24 months are the growth of that developer ecosystem, the number of major design wins for Jetson Thor with leading robotics companies, and the growth curve of their automotive and robotics division. You're looking for the clear path to it becoming a multi-billion-dollar per quarter business. The strategy here? Use any significant pullback caused by short-term market jitters to slowly build a position, as long as that long-term strategic story remains intact. Now, for the tactical trader, the upcoming earnings report is a high-stakes poker game. The stock's reaction won't be about the absolute numbers, which will almost certainly be fantastic. It will be about how those numbers compare to the market's secret whisper number, and most importantly, the forward-looking guidance. Be extremely wary of a buy the rumor, sell the news event. A blowout report might already be priced in. Listen carefully to the management's tone on the earnings call. Any hint of a slowdown will be punished severely, while an unbelievably strong forecast could send the stock to another all-time high. It's a game of extreme volatility. So, there you have it. Nvidia's launch of Jetson Thor is not just another product release, it's a declaration of intent. They've built the heart, the brain, and the foundational mind for the coming age of robots. They are making a calculated, audacious play to become the essential, unavoidable platform provider for the entire physical AI revolution. The technology is undeniably revolutionary. The strategy is brilliant. The only questions that remain are how fast and how much is it worth? And that, my friends, is the multi-trillion-dollar question we'll all be watching for the next decade. What do you think? Is Nvidia's ecosystem moat truly unbeatable, or is Tesla's vertically integrated approach the dark horse that will win it all? Let me know your take down in the comments. And as always, if you got value out of this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the tech and trends shaping our future. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.